Well, that is more like it. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Wednesday here on Dodgers Latest. You can always hit me up right there on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. And, of course, keep hitting that like button, subscribe, share, tell everybody about it as we continue to grow the community here on Dodgers Latest. Getting into it, 17 games left in the 2025 regular season. And thanks to the Dodgers' win last night over the Rockies and the Padres' loss to the Reds, the Dodgers now have increased their lead in the National League West to 2 games. So every one counts, especially as we get down to the final 17 games. Can you believe it? Started this journey back in March, and it feels like it was just yesterday. But yeah, Dodgers 81 wins and a 2-game lead in the National League West with 17 games to go. Obviously, no more games with the Padres and one more tonight with the Rockies, and then a huge series with the Giants coming up, who, by the way, the Giants won again. Mets lost again. So the Giants are now 2 games out of the last wild card spot as they try to catch and track down the Mets. And, of course, the Dodgers coming up with 7 games in 10 days against the Giants starting Friday over in San Francisco. Interesting times. But let's break down what happened last night and really what's been going on with Dodgers starting pitching. It has been lights out. It has been nails. Emmett Sheehan, 7 innings. That's a career high for him. Had a perfect game through 5 innings. The Dodgers keep flirting with these no-hitters, right? He had a perfect game through 5. Career high 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, only 1 run. Got the win. Dodgers win 7-2. And look at the last 4 starts. 4 starting pitchers for the Dodgers. That's Emmett Sheehan, Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, and obviously Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Look at that, a 1.60 ERA in their last 4 starts and 38 strikeouts. Obviously, it started Saturday night when Yamamoto took a no-hitter into the 9th with 10 strikeouts. Kershaw came back with an 8-strikeout, 5 2/3 performance. And then Tyler Glasnow on Monday, 7 innings, 11 Ks. And then last night, Emmett Sheehan. I'll tell you what, we talked about it yesterday, and we always talk about how it's a marathon, right? You know, when you're in and you're watching the games every day, and I know you guys are, you get sort of, you get so high on one game and so low on one game. I remember Don Drysdale, when I was a young guy, told me a long time ago, he said, listen, son, even the best teams lose 62 games. And even the worst teams win 62 games. So you can't get too high, you can't get too low, and it's always what you do with those middle 4 games that really define those middle 40 games that define your season. So the Dodgers trying to define their season. They're trying to right the ship after a brutal road trip, after a brutal stretch since July 1st, trying to sweep the Rockies tonight, and hopefully the Reds can do some damage down in San Diego and get the Dodgers over to a 3-game lead before they go to the West Coast. But I'll tell you what, the starting pitching has been such a concern all year because everybody had gotten hurt, right? And now everybody's healthy and it's starting to show. Unfortunately, now the bullpen's a little leaky, but with the offense turning it around, and I'll tell you what, you cannot deny these numbers. This starting pitching could do damage against anybody. And, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but you got to start wondering, what does that playoff rotation look like? Who would you start in game 1? And then a crazy stat that came out, a crazy note, is what about Ohtani as a closer? Well, he did it in the World Baseball Classic for Japan. Do you waste Ohtani as a starting pitcher when he really can't go more than 5 innings, really can't go more than 4 innings? Or do you bring him in as a closer? Interesting to see what Dave Roberts and the staff and the crew have in mind. Would love to hear what you think here in our comment section as well. A guy who snapped out of it last night, welcome back, Teoscar Hernandez, right? He was in a 1-for-21 slump, broke out of it with a home run, ended up hitting 2 home runs last night. He's got 23 for the year. And man, it's great to see, you could just see how much these guys mean to each other. That's, obviously Teoscar started the celebration with the sunflower seeds when they come to the dugout after hitting a home run. Well, you could just see there was an extra special love and affection and happiness for Teoscar as he tried to snap out of it. Listen, it's been a rough year from him on both sides, both defensively and offensively. We saw another weird play last night with Conforto, who him and Muncy, they let a ball drop in. Thankfully, it didn't hurt, but defensively, the Dodgers are a mess. And I think that is what I'm more concerned about than anything else as we head into a possible postseason appearance for the Dodgers. In that, we talked about it before with the Yankees. The Dodgers had the book on the Yankees. If you challenge their outfield, they're just not a very athletic outfield. You can take extra bases and make them make mistakes. Well, that's how I feel the Dodgers are right now with Conforto in left and Teoscar in right. And Pages, obviously he got a lot of grief for not leaping and trying to catch that Jackson Holiday home run ball that broke up Yamamoto's no-hitter. Dodger outfield defense is a lot to be desired, but Teoscar hopefully has woken up with the bat. It helps when you're playing a bad team. It helps when you're playing the Rockies, and the Dodgers trying to take full advantage of that. And Mookie Betts, man, another 2-hit night for him. Hit a home run, hitting .345 over the last 15 games with 4 home runs, 8 runs, 12 RBIs. Ohtani scored his major league leading 128th run. All in all, good. Great night for the Dodgers as they extend their lead to 2 games. So let's move into tonight. Blake Snell's on the mound trying to get the sweep of the Rockies. And interesting numbers for Blake, right? He's lost his last 3 starts, but he's gotten hit hard his last 2 starts. 8 earned runs in the last 10 1/3. That was against the Pirates and against the Diamondbacks. So, you kind of, you wonder what's going on with that. He was on paternity leave. They welcomed their second kid. His velocity was a little down, and that kind of, brought some eyebrows up. Obviously, he had a long stint on the IL. We'll have to keep a track on this, but he was brilliant his first start out against the Tampa Bay Rays. I think Blake Snell's just been, unfortunately, much like Yamamoto, he's been a victim of non-support. The Dodgers just don't score a lot of runs when Blake Snell's on the mound, and unfortunately, he's gotten hit up pretty well, especially his last time out against the Pirates. Trying to right the ship tonight against the Colorado Rockies for Blake Snell. I mean, what a formidable rotation, right? Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, now Emmett Sheehan, Ohtani. It doesn't stop, guys. It does, and then of course, by the way, the warhorse in Kershaw. So curious to see how the Dodgers will start to align a possible short series wild card series, because it looks like that's where the Dodgers are going to end up if they make the playoffs. If they win the division or even get in as a wild card, looks like they're going to be playing in a wild card series. It's best of 3, and that's why it's best if you're going to be in that series to win the division, be a division champion, to be the 3rd best division. You don't get the bye that the Brewers and Phillies would get, because at least those 3 possible games would all be at home. There's no travel in the wild card series. It's best of 3, but it is no travel. It is the team with the higher seed gets all home games. So the Dodgers would play right now. They'd play the Mets, because the Dodgers would be the 3 seed and the Mets would be the 6. The Padres would be in, but they would have to go to Wrigley Field. That's how it stands right now. So advantages to win the division. You get it home. There's no travel. And I face a tough New York Mets team. But the way things are going, it could be the Giants who pop up, because, again, the Giants are only 2 games behind the Mets for that final wild card spot in the National League. So we'll keep an eye on Snell tonight as the Dodgers try to continue their dominance over the Rockies. And finally, what to do with Roki Sasaki? It's an interesting question, right? He made his 5th rehab start for AAA Oklahoma City last night. 90 pitches, 8 strikeouts, ended up pitching 4 shutout innings, couldn't get out of the 5th inning, gave up 3 runs. But the question is, there's nothing more he can do, right? You're not going to keep him down in the minor leagues to be making pitching. So to keep pitching there, I think he's ready to come up. But the question is, where? To do what? I don't think Sasaki's going to be on the postseason roster. I don't think he should be on the postseason roster. Would love to hear what you think. So does he become sort of a long man? Sort of a guy, maybe like on an Ohtani day, he comes in, pitches those middle innings, kind of like what Robleski does? What do you do with Roki Sasaki? He's going to pitch in the big leagues, at some point this season. We thought they were going to shut him down, but apparently the impingement in his right shoulder has been healed. He's ready to go. Paying him all that money again, but I don't know how much you're ready to trust him with his headspace in big games. Maybe if the Dodgers have wrapped things up, you throw him out there as a starter to try to give everybody a day off, try to align your postseason rotation to start. I don't know. I don't know if there's a place in Roki Sasaki this year with the Dodgers. Maybe pitching out of the bullpen to close, to finish the string of the season, but I certainly don't see him in a postseason role at all, even on the roster. So curious to see what they do, but Sasaki seems to be getting in order. Can't wait to see what a healthy, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, Roki Sasaki could bring to this team in 2026. All right, everybody, ready to go. Rockies tonight. Dodgers are off tomorrow. They travel to San Francisco, start a quick 3-game road trip against the Giants. After that, the Phillies at Dodger Stadium and the Giants again at Dodger Stadium. It's going to be a great 10-game stretch as the Dodgers 4 back of the Phillies for the number 2 seed and trying to distance themselves from the Padres. The Dodgers currently 2 up in the West over San Diego. Remember, you can hit me up on Instagram and on X right there, J-Rod Show. Like, subscribe, share here on Dodgers Latest. Let's have a good time tonight. Let's get the sweep. Hopefully Blake Snell's doing okay. And remember, no matter what, it's always time for Dodger baseball.